Alright, so when I do this video, it was no harm meant to anybody that said nothing to me. Or anything. Okay? Like what I mean was, like, I would just want to show you, like I was in my last video, I was saying navel, evil, negative. Alright, so when my dad would sit there and he would tell me, you're too sensitive, quit acting like a baby, shit like that, okay? Alright, I'm understanding to this day more of what he went through. And I can't say the most, come on, but I want to. I'm the most understanding person you could ever frickin' meet, Dad. So I'm saying it to him, okay? Alright, I understand what you went through. And the more you talk to me and the more you tell me how things were, the more understanding I could be. Okay, Dad? So I guess what this is a conversation between my dad. So he would sit there and he would tell me I'm too sensitive. I'm a baby. Girls aren't supposed to cry. And I'm like, wow. He made me all confused. Alright, I'm going to tell you what right now. If my girl cried, I'd hug her. I'd hold her. If my girl was too sensitive, I would sit there and I would help her get through what she was getting through. Baby, cry, negative, okay. Like, what I would do is I would sit there and I would comfort them. But instead, when you're dealing with abusive people, forgive their hearts why they do it. I'm trying to come to forgiveness. Please talk to me more, Dad, and then maybe I will understand what you're going through. But when people just want to come out and they just say what they say, I don't know. So one day, I'm trying to recall that conversation, and the reason why I need to do this is because I have to go through it in order to overcome it. Okay? And I think that's what my problem is. I don't understand what happened, and I'm trying to get myself through it. Like I said in the beginning, no offense of letting it go, because I am trying to let it go. But I think that I have to recall what happened and actually go through it again. And that's why, if I am approved for this medical, I need a psychiatrist. I need to go to a psychiatrist, somebody who's highly qualified and knows what they're doing. Like, what they have here is social workers. And you go through this system, and it's really a piece of shit, because you don't get nowhere. I've been through it before 10 years ago. Now, people say, Steph, give people a chance and do this, everything else. There was a big story about my kid with the bus. We had the same driver, blah, blah, blah. Give her a chance. When I called the bus place, give her a second chance, they actually said. So I did. Guess what? It ended up the same way, and all I did was sit there and be as nice as I could. It turned out to shit. All right. So anyway, give people a second chance. I believe, like God says, give people second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. I keep going and going and going. But when it comes to a point where it's abuse, you know what I'm trying to say? All right. So anyway, one day I acted out to my dad at the kitchen table. And if you could see the picture of my mom and dad would always sit at the kitchen table. They would always talk, but it was always end up an argument. Because my dad was the one who always thought he was right. I respect fathers or dads, because I don't call anybody my father except the one. Alright, so he was not right. My dad was not right. And even though as much I'll sit and listen, it's such a big long story. So I was trying to get to the point at the table and I can't recall it. So what I'm doing is out loudly doing it, I guess. Whatever it was that he said to me, either girls don't cry or this, that, what it was is I finally stood up to my dad for the first time. I said, fine. Because he said, if you don't stop crying right this minute, I'm going to throw you and all your stuff onto the front lawn. That's what it was. And I said, fine, do it. When I actually stood up to him, he did. He grabbed me. I had this suspender short thing on. He ripped it off. I remember kind of like falling. The dog food flew all over because we had a dog. And that day was the day I was out of there. So, I don't know if you want to say he kicked me out or if I left, but he pretty